I
That
can't
shit is so
even
funny.
imagine, my man. I cannot even imagine if we were zooming the Ed Asner.
Dude.
You guys don't
Yeah.
even understand. You go and you
Yeah.
listen to that interview, and it's fantastic. It's amazing, and it's a wonderful interview. But he was having a lot of fun with us. He was having a lot of fun, and he terrified everybody. And the second that he came on and said something just like very gruff and very terrifying,
We were like,
everybody's faces, they all pointed at me like, that's you.
Yeah.
That we're not
Yeah.
touching this one. You go.
He had like that old man humor that really not a lot of people understood
Yeah.
unless you were like, of a certain generation. And we were like, what? And like we were very confused because he started it off with, how much you gonna pay me for this? We were like, what? Like it was wild, man.
But man, what an incredible thing to say though, because that's when he was kind of like, and I hate to say this, but it's true, kind of wrapping it up. It was like one of the very last interviews he did, because he basically real soon after that kind of stopped doing interviews. You saw him pop up on Cobra Kai, or you saw him pop up here or there in just a couple little things, but he really wasn't doing anything anymore. So we were very fortunate to get one of the last full interviews with him, prior to his death. And oh my gosh, to just like, I say it all the time, but I've been fortunate enough into my life, and I would have never even, as a kid, even imagined that you're talking about Lou Grant and Mary Tyler Moore from the Mary Tyler Moore Show. And I had the unbelievable pleasure of speaking and having a conversation and talking to both of them and actually getting to know Mary Tyler Moore. I'm like, what the fuck is happening in my life right now? I know Mary Tyler Moore, and I am talking to Mary Tyler Moore and fucking Ed Asner. What? Like, it was amazing. But, I want to go back to Kina for a minute, because when we first did it, the guests that we were doing were our own actors from the project that we were working on. And the show was awful. It just was not good. So for somebody that's established in Hollywood, someone that was on a hit show, she was on Atlanta, and it was booming at that time. It was huge at that time. For her to reach out to us and say that she had listened to the show and would like to be a guest, and for her to do that when the show is fucking awful.
Like, are you sure? Are you sure?
That's the first thing we said before we even got back to her and said, yes, we'd love to have you on. We were all like, what? Does she have the right show? Did she accidentally contact the wrong show? But that changed everything. That kind of allowed us to go, well, maybe we can reach out to publicists. Maybe we can start to get these type guests, and not just the people we know, the actors that we're working with. Maybe we can start to get those. And so I just really, really want to thank her for that, because that was the big shifting point. And then, like you said, Rebecca, right after that, same thing. Rebecca was a fan of the show and wanted to come on, and it was just. And now, guys, we hardly ever even have to reach out to book people. They all want to come on the show. They all reach out to us to get on the show. And we've just established an amazing relationship. I want to give props to a lot of the people, but we've been able to establish amazing relationships with so many unbelievable publicists and managers in the industry that we are so grateful for and so thankful for, that have allowed us to do what we do, and have these things happen, and allow us to start building out our network and allow us to start doing what we've been doing. And so I just want to, Charles Sherman especially, because like you said, I think really the big first household name was Ed Asner, and Charles Sherman is his publicist, and and then he gave us Eric Braeden, Victor fucking Newman. What the fuck? Just hello. Amazing. I forgot all about old Eric Braeden. But yeah,
I think there's this one thing that we wanted to seem, we're first starting out. We want to seem very professional. We want to seem bigger than we are, right? So I created this fake email account that I used to reach out to publicists with.
Ben, right? Ben.
Yeah, my name was Ben Wright. And if you guys are original listeners to the show or original followers to our social media, we had an account named Ben Wright, and that was just me. I was reaching out as like an assistant to our podcast and trying to book people.
Yeah,
That
Ben
was so
Ben Wright was
funny.
our booking agent. He was the one
Yeah.
reaching out to publicists.
It's so funny. And it's like, it's one of those things, like we've talked to multiple people where they put things on their resume and they're like, well, I'm going to learn while I'm on set, or like, one of those things. And
Yeah.
being able to finally say that publicly, I think is hilarious.
Oh my gosh. It's fucking
Remember the
hysterical.
amount of people who would they would answer, because we would do it over phone, and they would answer the phone and be like, hi, is this Ben? We're like, nope.
Nope. Yeah. Maybe? No, maybe it's
Yeah,
Ben.
so no,
Define
it's not
Ben.
Yeah, that was so funny.
There's been so many special moments, and we want to go from the podcast into all the movies and the stuff that,
Of
because
course,
we're
of
filmmakers
course.
and everything. But there's just a couple more things I want to say about the podcast, because it has been so amazingly wonderful. And you made me think about this, because we talk about, we want to be very professional, right? We want to have fun, but this is a professional, and we take our name seriously, and we take, a kind of thing. But if you could have been in the room with all of us when we got the notification that we landed William Daniels, we looked like a bunch of kindergartners who found out they were getting snack time or something.
was
We
so
just
crazy.
we couldn't contain ourselves. We were jumping up and down, high-fiving each other, just like Mr. fucking Feeney. And for me, Knight Rider. It's like, holy
Yeah.
shit, we just landed Knight Rider and Mr. Feeney. Holy shit. It was so amazing. The moments like that, when it's somebody that was so significant to your childhood, and now you're going to be able to talk to them. And that was just so amazingly gratifying. And the first time that we had ever landed a child actor, the sense of appreciation that we had, that they trusted us to be able to do this, because we didn't have really a huge track record at that point. We had never done a child actor before, but we were gracious enough to reach out and ask, and they were gracious enough they said, okay, we've got a series of questions for you. We have some stipulations for you. Can we do boom, boom? And then we got Akira Akbar from Captain Marvel, who's gone on to just massive stardom now. Like she's just amazing, and a grown-ass
Yeah.
woman. Holy shit. But when we
She's
got
in Bel
her,
Air now. Yeah.
yeah, just a child. Just, and that was amazing. That was one of those breakthrough moments where, like, we can do anything. We can talk to anybody and make this work. Which was just so amazingly cool. And then I think our big moment, and this will be the nice transition to the film stuff. Our big moment through the podcast is when we had J.S. Mayak and Spencer Garrett, and then inevitably a whole bunch of other people, but come on to the show to promote their scripted podcast, America 2.0. They had like huge stars in that thing, Shanola Hampton and Patrick J. Adams and like Jack Coleman and Lawrence Fishburne and like all these amazingly huge people in this project. And we were fortunate enough to get JS, one of the creators, to come on, and then he had Spencer Garrett come on, who was a producer on the project and one of the stars in it. And the interview was awesome. We had a really fun time. But then Spencer graciously said, why don't you come on out to LA? Be a part. We're doing this big red carpet event. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have an open bar. It's going to be catered. You'll get to be on the red carpet. Come meet all the stars. And we're like, what? Seriously? Like, you're inviting us out to LA to be on a red carpet with all these famous people and like do all these kind of. That was the moment. And that's when I think it launched the podcast into the next stratosphere because people saw us in LA. People saw our selfies with Shanola Hampton and with like all these huge stars, and we're on the red carpet, and we're like, and that just kind of, it took it to the next level. I think really after that point is when we really started getting, now we don't have to call people. Now they're calling us. And that we'll be forever grateful for JS and Spencer and Jeremy Gordon and just everybody involved with that. I think that was the catapult that took us to that next level. You don't understand, when you're seen on a red carpet, you know you've arrived. People know you've arrived. So, yeah, I wanted to give credit where credit was due, because I feel like that was the big breakthrough point with not only the show, but then the transition into, well, shit, these guys are filmmakers, because they asked us. They took the time to ask us about who we were and what we were doing and explain the logo. It's such a cool logo. What does that mean, kind of a thing. And it was really the first time that we had put out there who we were and that we were filmmakers and why we were doing what we were doing. And what's the significance of our logo? Why does it look like that? So yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing kind of a transition thing. Yeah. So I just,
it was definitely like one of the highlights of the company.